Previously on TTAOTJBPC. We open at the Prosperity Festival, a celebration of the Empire's health. As you guys are all enjoying the sunny day, a massive echoing thunderclap is heard. The crowd's attention is drawn to the top of the platform, where a hooded figure is seen holding a goose under his arm.
You are all bugs beneath the foot of capitalism.
Karen claps. She thinks this is great.
Insects. I know your natural enemy.
And with that, he tosses the goose from the tower. As the goose impacts the ground, it splits into two identical geese. The guards are very confused, but as they touch them, the geese multiply again into 4, into 16.
There's magic afoot.
There's geese afoot. Don't touch them aggressively.
This seems like a job for the strike team, don't you think?
Yeah, who's the strike team?
Well, that's us, of course. Mr. Cherish, you are doing a fantastic job. Is there any way that we can support you?
If you were to want to help, see if you can't find that scoundrel who started this whole mess off in the first place. And just as you find yourself starting to get puffed and stop, you look to your left, and on the other side of some boxes, there is a person in a green cloak, wearing a trumpet-ended mask, huffing and puffing and catching your breath.
Cardio. Yeah, I'll run towards them.
You're now holding a gnome child. Let me go!
This is a child.
My boss will beat you up.
You won't get in trouble. We just need to look for, your boss. Who's your boss?
We're supposed to be distractions so that the boss can get away.
I'm going to take them to Murphy. If I pay him, he will do anything.
This is true, and he does owe us all a favor.
That thing around the goose's neck, it's called a clasp of cloning. If you guys bring me the original clasp of cloning, I can make a lot of money out of that, and I would be happy to share it with you if you know what I'm talking about. And he looks down at the gnome kids and he's like, that's called business. And as you are standing there, kind of trying to figure out what to do next, two things happen simultaneously. Another thunderclap rings in, and the giant goose from the east gate flies over some trees and crash lands in front of you.
This is a good, fun time.
Kia ora everybody, and welcome to the terrible adventures of the Janderson Breffords Parchment Company, a D&D podcast. My name is Penny D, and I will be your Dungeon Master today. And if I was a fruit, I'd be a mandarin, because I've just evolved to be able to get undressed really easily, like snap, like that, easy, done.
Hi, I'm Liz. I play Karen, our favourite dwarf barbarian, and I think if I was a fruit, I would be a Granny Smith apple, because I'm a little bit more sour than your average apple. A lot of people still like me.
Hi, I am Poppy. I play Ido, our tiefling rogue. If I were a fruit, I think I'd be a cranberry, mainly because I am my own favourite person. Cranberries are my favourite fruit. And also, cranberries are a little bit tart, but very sweet, much like myself.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm playing Frankie the Artificer. If I was a fruit, I would be a banana because I'm very appealing.
Love that. Love it.
You stole my fruit.
I figured I did.
I am Nate, and I play Flimvar the Halfling Bard. And I was going to choose banana, but now I'm going to choose Fijoa because I am around for a certain amount of time and an overabundance, and then I just kind of disappear off the map, and you're like, hey, where's Nate? Where am I? And then everyone's like, yum, there you are.
I didn't realise that Fijo is completely a New Zealand thing. Like, they're not elsewhere, really. I think maybe Australia. But
If you get them overseas, they're just like
rare.
videos for a catchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird because we've got a ton out the back.
Do you now?
So we're going to be playing a little bit of D&D today. We are up to episode 2 of Arc 2, The Infinite Goose. As you exit Murphy's shop, unsure of what to do next, a great, monstrous flapping echoes through the air, and a moment later, a giant, monstrous goose, about 40 times bigger than a real goose, crashes into the circle ahead of you. It rises and looks at you like prey, and its eyes narrow, and it releases a monstrous, ugly honk. What do you do?
Oh, truly terrifying.
I want everybody to roll for initiative.
Alright.
I got 14.
Karen got 17.
Frankie got 18.
And Ida got 6.
What do you do?
All
Frankie,
right.
you're up first.
Frankie would like to cast a cantrip, so he pulls out one of the coins out of his pocket, and he would like to cast a firebolt.
Okay, that's a roll to attack, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Cool, go ahead, roll to hit.
Oh, that is a 10.
10 hits. It's a pretty big goose. It's not wearing any armor, so yeah, where do you shoot it?
I would just like to try and shoot it, I guess, in its like center where.
Right in the chest?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and roll your damage.
1d10. That is a 10.
Nice, maximum damage. Frankie uncharacteristically steps forward first and holds a blue coin in his hand, and having practiced this a couple of times now, releases the energy from the coin. It turns to fire and shoots in a straight line towards the goose, hitting it in the center of the breast. The goose shrieks and flaps its wings in pain and gives another monstrous honk. Karen, you're up.
Alright. I would like to call my great axe, and I think I'm just going to go for a straight hit. I'm not going to bother trying to rage at the moment.
Okay,
So I'm just going to go for a straight attack roll.
go ahead.
Alright, that is a 14 to hit.
Nice, that hits.
Fantastic. And then I roll 1d12 plus 5. That is 7.
Straight behind the bolt of fire, Karen, sprinting on heels, runs low. A blue axe forms in her hands, and she runs underneath the goose and swings at its disgusting, scaly yellow feet, and manages to actually do a pretty decent cut there. The goose, it hisses at you as you get close, but you're not scared at this time, and you give it a really good slash with your magical axe. Flynn, what are you up to?
So I'm also going to summon my short sword, and I'm going to go straight for the other leg, and roll an attack.
You guys have absolutely really working on your teamwork since the last time you had a fight.
I rolled a net run, so I'm going to roll again.
Oh my god. I'm going to start keeping a tally of how many times you've got to re-roll nat ones.
Oh, you should, because this is why I'm a halfling, because I always roll badly until I don't.
Yeah, this is
And
impressive.
it's scary when you're like something else, because you're like, okay, well now I'm just a hunk of rust.
What did you roll on your attack again?
10.
10 hits. So, parallel to Karen, you run forwards using the bolt of fire as cover. You run forwards, and at the same time as Karen's axe forms in her hands, a small sword appears in yours, and the two smallest members of the party run and slide under the goose and slash at its feet. Another hit. How much damage did you get?
10 damage.
Whoa, very nice. The goose is pissed. It's fear bleeding. It looks at you all as though you are tiny prey, and it rises up and it gives a terrifying, shrieking honk. Honk! I want all of you to roll con saves, please.
Alright.
Oh, okay.
Who got over 12? 12 or over?
I did.
Me.
Frankie did.
Yep, me.
Everybody got over 12?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The sound of the honk is monstrous, but you manage to shake off the fright that you each once would have felt facing down a monster like this. And the goose then flaps its mighty wings. Ido and Frankie, can you guys roll me strength saves, please?
That is a 7.
Yeah, I only got a 6.
Yeah, so you are both blown back 10 feet into the wall of Murphy's Honest Goods. Both of you take 5 damage.
Good lord. Okay,
Ow.
that's fun.
Okay, Ido, what's up? What are you up to?
Can I use, and pardon my pronunciation, thaumaturgy?
Yes, you can use
How do you say it?
thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy. Perfect. Now, I would just like to create a loud sound coming from its left. I should
Okay.
be able to do that, right?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to roll a deception check for me, please.
That is a 13.
Yeah, so you do manage to create a sound coming from the goose's left. Is this a distraction?
Sweet. It is a distraction, yes.
Okay. Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
Get up and hide, actually. Is there any boxes around that I could hide behind to kind of recover for a bit?
Okay, you can go run to some nearby trees, but at the moment at level 1, a hide is a full action for you, which you've already cast a spell to do, so you can
Sweet
run
as,
over
yeah.
to the bushes, but you can't actively hide yet.
Actively hide, okay. Yeah, I'll just run behind the trees.
Cool. The goose is now distracted by... What was the noise that you created? What was it? What did it sound like?
I'm going to say it was like a...
There we go. Okay, Frankie, you're up.
Frankie is going to cast another firebolt.
Okay,
That is a 14.
that hits.
And 8 damage.
Having suffered a little bit of damage, you step up again, hold up your electrum piece, and you again shoot fire from your hand. This one goes a little higher and sort of singes the goose's neck just above where the giant golden clasp is sitting on its neck. Okay, would you like to do anything else with your turn? You want to move, take some cover, anything like that?
I'd probably like to take some cover, just, nearby, crouch behind something. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you run like around the side of Murphy's shop and kind of hide sort of behind the corner of the building. Next up is Karen. What are you up to, Karen?
Yes, I would like to try and grapple the goose, if I may. I want to see if I can get it down onto the ground.
It is a
And
giant
I'd like to
creature.
activate rage and just kind of try and get its legs out from underneath it.
Okay, this is going to be a really, really high strength check, DC, in order to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, but go ahead
Yep.
if you want to try and dwarf grapple a giant goose.
Hell
Go
yes, I do. Fantastic. This is a strength check, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So Karen holds up a blue coin, and as it disappears into her palm, you can see blue veins rushing up her arm and into her eyes, which flash blue for a moment. And she goes for a huge tackle on one of the goose legs, trying to bring it down to the ground. That is a 17 plus 5, 22.
Unfortunately, you are 1 short.
Ah!
I was looking for a strength check of 23. So you run up and you do your best. You actually manage to bring the goose down to 1 knee, but it's simply too large to tip over in the way that you were trying to do.
Sure. Can
Flynn.
I still kind of hold it there?
Unfortunately, you failed on your grapple check, so you don't get to continue holding it.
Okay, that's fine.
Flynn, what do you got for me, bud?
Well, I got it down to 1 knee.
Because he's feeling a bit... He's really confident with the damage he did before. He's going to take another slash at the giant goose, but he's going to try and do an uppercut stab up, because obviously he's a bit of a shorty.
Into its underbelly?
See how he goes. I just rolled a net 20. 26 to hit.
If you roll a net 20, it's an automatic success, and you roll double damage dice as well.
Oh, sweet. Cool. So that's my d6. 15 damage.
A previously unknown twinkle flashes across Flynn's eyes as he looks up at the vast, feathery scape above him, and he jumps and slashes his sword straight up and manages to get the goose, like, because there's so much feathers, you had a really good chance of just sinking into feathers, but no, you go straight through the feathers and into the goose's leg joint and do a really decent slash in there, and the goose honks with fury. You did 15 damage?
Yes.
Man, you guys are strong. Okay, the goose's turn. Furious at this, you turn and you see the goose's long neck curved around underneath of it, and disgusting goose face upside down staring at you. It honks and it lifts its foot and it brings it down on top of you. I want you to roll a strength saving throw.
A strength saving throw. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, another net one. Hold on.
Just all 1s and 20s for you, mate.
You are like a Vijoa. You're very all or nothing.
19.
19. Unfortunately, the goose rolled 16 plus 5 because it's a giant goose, and it brings its big webbed foot down on you, standing on you and crushing you a little bit. You are now grappled by the goose. You have disadvantage on saving throws against goose attacks, and the goose has advantage on attacks against you. The goose is now going to attack you by pecking at you with its beak. So it's going to roll an attack. It rolled a 17. Does that hit you?
Yes, it does.
And it pecks at you twice with its enormous beak, doing 8 damage.
Whew. Okay.
It's pretty furious at this point. And also because its neck is going around and looking down underneath of itself, the clasp has slid all the way along its neck to the point where it's now resting on what would be a goose's chin if geese had chins.
Is that within reach of me?
You can't move, but it's not too far from where you're at. It's about 25 feet from where Flynn and Ido are, and it's probably about 10 feet from where Karen is. Next up, Ido, what do you got for me, bud?
I am still pretty weak, so I'm going to do a distance attack with my dagger.
Okay.
So the clasp of the clasp, is that on the outside facing us?
Yes, because the goose is leaning down like this, the attachment mechanic for the clasp is on the back of its head pretty close to the ground right now.
Perfect. Now, it's probably going to be quite a long shot, literally, but can I try to throw my dagger at the clasp?
It is a watch-like mechanic, like you would need to pull it out and around, so I don't think you could just knock it off.
Okay.
But I'll give you that for free. You and Frankie have a really clear look at the class mechanic. And Flynn, you would already know what it looks like, considering you've taken them off before.
Okay, in that case, I might just throw my dagger into its neck, because, that's got to hurt it, right?
Yeah, of course. Okay, roll me an attack roll.
Right. Oh, golly. That 13?
13 hits.
Cool. Alright. Oh, and 4 damage.
Cool. So you, from your spot in the bushes, you take in the clasp and you throw the dagger. It spins in the air, and as you planned it, it sinks pointy end into the goose's neck, just above where the clasp is, doing 4 damage. Okay, Frankie, you're up again.
Frankie's going to have this, I want to say a bout of courage. How far away did you say he was from?
The goose is currently 25 feet from you.
Okay, so Frankie would like to use his full movement and just run at the goose and just try and attach himself to the neck so he could try and take the clasp off.
Okay, it's pretty close to the ground where you could probably just sort of run up and grab onto the top of the clasp.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what he's planning on doing.
Are you going to attempt to remove it, or are you going to do an attack?
He's going to attempt to remove it.
Cool. Would you please roll me a dexterity check?
Okay. Dex. Yikes. That is a 16 plus 2, 18.
As if in slow motion, you take in the scene around you. Your friend, the halfling, trapped beneath a goose. Your friend, the dwarf, bravely wrestling at it. Your friend, the tiefling, hiding behind some bushes. And you sprint forwards, and you do a running leap, and you attach yourself to the top of where the clasp is, and in a move of adrenaline-fueled bravery, you manage to pull the clasp out and around, and suddenly you're not holding anything. You feel your feet touch the ground, and both the clasp and the goose have vanished.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Yay!
Yay! I'd like to imagine that scene was is it Sherlock when he's thinking and there's all these
Yeah.
things zooming
Discombobulated.
on something
and
yes,
stuff.
Yes, that's exactly what he would have done.
You all stand around breathing heavily. Except for you, Ido, you're probably all right.
I don't know.
You took damage from the flaps. You've taken a lot of damage, and it occurs to you that without any of you experiencing any fear, you all ran up and braved this enormous monster, this enormous magical goose. None of you faltered, and you all, as a team, took it out. You have a rush of endorphins as your victory sinks in, and you all level up, and you are now level 2.
Yay! Huzzah!
So congratulations to you. I'd like all of you to roll one of your hit dice to buff your HP, plus your constitution modifier. And you can re-roll ones.
So we add that to what our last max HP was.
To your max HP, yeah. And also to your current HP. So while you're doing that, Karen, you have gained access to the ability Reckless Attack, which allows you to choose to have advantage on attacks. You also now have an ability called Danger Sense. Prevents you from... you gain an uncanny sense of where things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects you can see, such as traps and spells. To gain this benefit, you can't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. Idafa, you have gained the Cunning Action ability. You can now use your bonus action to hide, dash, or disengage. So now you can use your bonus action on your turn to hide, to remove yourself from combat without provoking an attack of opportunity, or to use your speed again. So a dash is basically double speed for a turn. Frankie, you have gained the ability to use Infuse Item. You now know 3 infusions, and you can infuse 2 items at the same time. And Flynn, you have gained the Jack of All Trades ability. You can add half your proficiency bonus, rounded down, to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus. So anything that you don't get proficiency on, you can add +1 to anyway. And you also gain the Song of Rest ability, which when you rest, you can use music to help your party to heal. And you also have 1 extra spell and 1 extra level 1 spell slot that you can choose from. Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Is everybody clear on what they want? What they're doing for their level up? Everyone done all their HP and everything?
Yep.
Yes.
You guys are catching your breath and sort of giggling to yourselves at having defeated this ridiculous monster that even the guards were having trouble with. And as you're standing there, the door to Murphy's Honest Goods opens, and he runs out the door holding a blue glowing sword. And he's like, "Oh, you guys have got it, okay." And then he goes back inside.
So that's what he has.
And then the two children, Tuffle and Truffle, come out, and they're like, "Oh my god, we were watching from in the window. You guys are so cool. Oh my god, I'm so glad we didn't try to fight you. That was awesome. Do you guys want to join our gang? Do you want to be honorary truth trenders?"
I'm going to go ahead and say no. I really don't want to be part of some kind of kids gang.
What's a truth trender, darling?
Oh, Truth Trenders.
Is that your little club?
That's the name of our cool gang. We love finding out the truth about stuff, and we hang out in our clubhouse, and then the boss came, and now we do cool missions and stuff.
It sounds like you do crime.
No, we
based
do cool
on what
missions.
we caught you doing.
What kind of truths have you found out? Tuffle and Truffle.
Well, we know all sorts of stuff, like we know about the turtle of the wasteland. That was pretty fun. And we know about a guy called Marvelous, who's like this awesome, like cool guy who can fly. That was awesome. And we found out that people throw a lot of stuff down their toilets.
How did you find that one out?
Truffle kicks Tuffle, and Tuffle's like, "I'm sorry, but we can't share that information with non-club members."
I'd like to join your club.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, stuff just kind of floats into our clubhouse, So, we've got cool statues and sticks, and one time a coin, like a fun coin came down, and it was like, it said, second year sober on it, and that was awesome. That's cool. I'm 2 years sober.
Oh my
That does-
god.
So your clubhouse is underground. That's a pretty cool place for a clubhouse.
Well, unfortunately, I can only talk to Frankie about the location of our clubhouse because he's the only one who joined our gang.
Oh, well, I never said I didn't want to join.
Hey, I said I wanted to join the gang.
Okay, well
It was just Ido that didn't want to.
we can talk to Frankie and Flynn. Karen, are you joining our awesome club? Do you want to be a
Sure,
truth
I'd
trender?
love to, darling. I would love to join the Truth Trenders.
Awesome. Okay, so put your hands in, and both of them put their hands in.
Okay.
Frankie puts his hands in.
Ido's
Karen's
just watching what's happening. Doesn't want to touch these grubby little children.
Everyone puts their hands in, and they say, this kind of needs to be confirmed by the boss, but we're allowed to make you, like, temporary members, but the boss is the one who, like, confirms everyone. So repeat after us. I pledge allegiance to the truth,
I pledge allegiance to the truth.
and I promise not to reveal the password to the clubhouse.
And I
And I
promise
promise
not to reveal the password to the clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Flynn, you didn't say it.
Immediately forgot what that was. And I promise to not
I promise
reveal
not to
the
reveal
password
the passage.
to the clubhouse.
And I am now a truth trender, and I'm awesome.
I am
And
now
a
truth trender, and I am
And
awesome.
I'm awesome.
Cool, you guys are part of our gang now.
Just
Well,
while
I
all
still-
that's going on and you're all stumbling and fumbling with your words, Ido is like bent over laughing, like he can't control how funny this is. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Are you kidding?
You're basically just, like, humoring some 6-year-olds right now.
Yeah.
So you guys are now truth trenders in a street gang with some little gnome children, except for Ido. What are you gonna do now?
Karen is. She also thinks this is extremely funny, but she is humouring these small children. She's being very generous with her time, and she says, well, I suppose if we are club members of your little club now, we should go to the clubhouse. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Unfortunately, the bylaws say that I can't let you in until you've been confirmed by the boss.
Ah, well, that is a problem. I suppose we should go and see the boss then, shouldn't we? Do you know where he is? We can take ourselves, you're right.
As if in answer to that question, another distorted thunder noise rolls in from the north. And both of the kids look at each other and they're like, we can trust you guys, right?
Of course you can.
And
We're gang members now.
they look at Ido and they kind of like put their hands up so that Ido can't see. But Tuffle puts his hands up just to block Ido, puts both of his hands up, and he's like, that thunder is probably him. If you can follow that, I imagine you'll find him. Just tell him that Tuffle and Truffle sent you, and he'll let you into the gang.
Well, thank you so much, Tuffle and Truffle. Will you stay here with Murphy?
Oh yeah, Murphy's our friend now. He promised us pudding.
They're kind of
Wonderful
adorable, I'll be
gangs.
honest.
These are two extremely good children. Karen looks in through the window of the shop and just gives Murphy a little thumbs up and says, all right, well, I suppose we'd better go and introduce ourselves to our new boss. How about that? Idafer, would you like to accompany us? And maybe we can see if we can get you instated as well.
I don't know. What did they even say to you just then? I had no idea. He put his hands up and I couldn't see or hear.
Oh, I
anything he
know.
said.
At this moment, from the west, an almost like pile of geese starts spilling into the clearing that you guys are in, almost like a big snowball collapsing.
We should
Well,
probably go. Let's go.
Time to run.
And we run.
Tuffle and Truffle run inside and close the door, and you can hear Murphy saying something about pudding, but the incessant honking that is approaching you is a little bit loud, and you guys all bolt off towards the direction of the sound that you heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So you guys head north. Can you all roll me perception checks, please?
Karen got a 10.
I got an 8.
Frankie also got an 8.
I got a 14.
So you all kind of follow Flynn, who seems to know where he's going. The rest of you kind of like, I think it came from the north, but maybe not. And you're all just sort of running. At this point, you are fairly close to the center circle, but in the East District. And you're running north, and Flynn turns a corner, and you all see something strange. Normally, the alleyways in between the buildings are stacked up with stock, garbage, crates, bits and pieces. Usually it's like a little piece of space that most of the shops and buildings use as a little bit of, extra storage outside. But you turn a corner into an alleyway, and you see something that you've never seen before. The alleyway, not just the one you're standing in, but all of the alleyways leading in a straight line are all completely clear.
Well, this is just creepy.
Ooh, what? What happened here?
Do you think it's actually clear, or is it a trick?
Did the geese clear it out? I'm not sure what's... Well, I mean, if there's a shortcut, I'm not going to not take it.
Yeah, this sounds convenient, if nothing else.
What if the geese were a distraction for like a mass robbery and just someone's just cleared out all of these buildings, including all their outside junk?
Well, it definitely sounds like something that could happen.
It's definitely possible.
What can we
I'm
do?
just gonna walk forward and
Really?
see.
What can we do?
And then, suddenly, all of us teleported to 3 weeks in advance, and we're all sitting together instead of going over house party, and that was nice.
It was nice, but I think this is better.
Yeah, I agree. But that was fun though. It made lockdown more interesting.
So just a quick note about the change in audio quality. What happened is we had to cut our session short, and then it was 3 weeks later, and now we're sitting all in person recording on using microphones and stuff. So if there's a change in audio quality, this is why. I mean, I'm gonna assume that it's better, but you never know really. So just a little bit of a catch up. Y'all fought a big goose, and that was fun.
Yes.
And Frankie was the hero in that one. Y'all leveled up, and then you're running around the city. And what did you find? Like, what did you find just right as the point we had to shut down?
We found a alleyway completely clear of anything. There was no rubbish, there was no rats, there was no horrible little streams of mysterious liquid leaking down the alley. It was completely clear and clean, and that was extremely strange.
Yeah, it was very strange. I don't think I ever said anything about it being clean, just that all of the crap had been moved out of the way.
I was assuming it was clean.
There's just so much liquid.
Whatever did this also took a toothbrush to the spaces in between the bricks. Okay, so what do you do?
Well, I believe Flinvar was leading us.
Yeah. So I am very cautious because this is weird, right? I'm a city slicker. I know this is weird. Nothing's ever this tidy. So I'm going to cautiously, slowly walk up to through the opening. And
Yeah, it's not an illusion. It actually is clear. You don't bump into any invisible objects. And it does appear to be leading north in the direction that you are following the thunderclap noises.
Okay. I kind of turn back and I give you guys like a thumbs up, like, oh, okay, ooh, yeah.
Okay, Karen's going to walk out and pretend that she knows exactly what she's doing and confidently stride across the road because she is supposed to be here at this time. And she's going to say, "Come on, everybody, let's go see what's happening because that's what we're supposed to do. Obviously, we are meant to be here," she says just a little bit louder just in case anybody's listening.
So are you walking cautiously? Are you running? Are you, like, what's the speed and temperament of the party at this point?
Ido is going to pick up a rock from the ground, assuming there's a rock on the ground.
Yeah, there's pebbles and stuff.
And I'm going to give it a nice chuck right down the alley and just make sure that it's all good.
Yep, doesn't hit anything. It lands, 20... I'm struggling to calculate meters to feet. I'm gonna say it lands 20 feet ahead of you and just bounces along. Every so often, the alleyway is gonna open up into streets, which you'll then cross and continue down the alleyway. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing in your way, and that's really strange.
It is. Okay. Sweet. Well, Ido's just going to go for a walk. Just going to, normal pace, which may be quite fast for the small people.
The legs going double time.
Karen is very used to walking at a brisk power walk because she is a brisk power woman. So she keeps up with Flinvar. No, She keeps up with Idafer.
Cue just like a Kath and Kim, them power walking. Yeah.
With the little weights, absolutely.
All right, do we come across anything?
No, for a couple of blocks you travel, you like cross. The city's pretty clear at this point. Once in a while you like hear honking in the distance, but like what happened is the city really cleared out of the park, and like everyone's like really moved far away. As you're traveling to the west, you can hear sounds of a battle, and you can hear honking and stuff, but like it's pretty clear. Everyone's like taken shelter or like moved as far away as they can, and you guys are like not that far from the center circle. You're just like a couple of blocks to the east of the center circle. So you're traveling up, and you go about 6 blocks north, and then you hear the noises of hoofbeats on cobblestone.
I would like to roll an athletics check to jump out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody, I was actually going to say,
definitely.
everybody roll me your choice, either an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Awesome.
That's a 12 for Ido.
Acrobatics 17.
That is a 16 on athletics for Karen.
Sometimes I got a 22.
Frankie got a 21 on acrobatics.
So everybody, like, you hear the noise and instinctively you dive to the side. And it's really lucky that you did, because almost immediately around the corner comes barreling a enormous Clydesdale horse with a bleached face. And it is pulling a cart, and the cart has a few people on it, and there is like a tarp over whatever it's carrying, and there's about 4 people on the corners, and it just barrels past you. Unfortunately, Ido, because you were at the front and you were a little bit slow to react, you do get like rammed into by the horse.
Yay.
And you're gonna take 4 damage.
Okay.
Take 4 bludgeoning damage, and it's actually really strange because like you don't normally see horses that look like this, but it is a large, bulky horse, and its face looks like it was at some point injured. Like its face is bleached, not just white, but like strange.
Like someone threw acid on it.
Oh.
No!
When they had a bleached face. Sorry.
And everybody except Ido, as you push yourself against the wall, and in the moment that you have to take in stuff, you see a face and you recognize it, but you can't quite pinpoint where you've seen it before.
Oh.
But then the cart is gone, and you can like it's obviously going to travel the way that you came, but you can see it just storming along. Like none of the figures on it look back. They just push past you, and they're going south. They're going back down towards the way that you came, and it's pretty clear this is why the alleyway was cleared out, right?
As we continue walking north, can I just keep an eye out for any kind of disturbances or like open doors or anything that kind of would have signified where the horse came from?
Sure. Would any of you like to react or respond to that event that happened, or should we just carry on through?
Yeah.
What do you do? Because Ido just got bowled over by a horse, and this thing just like surprised you. So yes, you can, but let's deal with the aftermath of that moment.
I think Slimva's a bit shocked, but glad it's not a giant horse or a giant goose, another giant goose, because that was...
Yeah, for just 4 damage, Ido's like, that was really uncomfortable, but you know.
Frankie would like to help him up if we like knock down a little bit. Like,
Oh, thanks, Frankie.
rest you off a little bit. Watch out for those horses, mate. Yeah, they come out of nowhere.
Watch out for all of those horses.
All of the horses.
Okay, and I just dust myself off and I'm all worried.
And Karen would like to shake her fist at the disappearing cart and say, "Watch where you're going next time!"
All of you roll me a perception check.
Slimva got 16.
Karen got a 7.
Frankie got a 10.
And Ido got an 11.
You find one. You're not sure where it came from, but you find a piece of electrum on the ground.
Oh.
You might have dropped it. You don't know.
If it was in that cart, that's a very expensive cart.
Well, did you have any in your pockets? Did they fall out? Or is there... Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure I left all my Electrum in the bag of holding.
We should split that because, well, one, because what if I die?
You're right, who's going to take your Electrum out of the bag?
Who's going to heal me?
You're not going to die. Everything's all right. It was just one horse.
If I do die, what benefits do my family get from a Janderson Breffords?
Are we talking about insurance coverage?
Absolutely. Technically, we're not on the job at the moment, which I'm working on, don't worry. But your family will receive certain benefits when and if you die on the job.
I like how you started with when you die.
Statistically, it's going to happen.
Oh, God.
I mean,
Frankie's got a point.
Frankie does work in the pulping press, and he does know the dangers of working in such a, frantic environment.
And that's why I'm in sales.
Exactly. So if, we do have different policies for different people. So if, say, you are killed by a band of roving marauders while you're off on sales, obviously you are protected against that, whereas Frankie is not protected against roving marauders because he doesn't work in sales.
True.
That's true.
Fair enough.
You have a 37.8% chance of being killed that way.
I quite like those odds, actually. So would anyone like anything out of my pouch? Can I reach in and, you would like to reach in and share something around?
Well, not while it's on your waist, darling, but if you would hand it towards me,
Frankie
I
just
will go in and get a couple of it.
brings it out without even
pieces.
thinking. He just has no idea.
Frankie's like, what's
this?
Straight into the fanny pack.
This the pan? Yeah, that's what the pan is.
I try and to reach Karen's one, but just come up with mine. So I'm like, oh, you have to get it.
Oh, this is a health and safety violation, unfortunately, and a human resources, mortal resources violation. So just hand it towards me and I will reach in once it's at a safe distance away. I am your manager after all. I cannot be accused of having any kind of inappropriate interactions with my subordinates.
Just, chopping people's arms off. So I unclip the
Well, that wasn't my subordinate, was it?
I unclip the waist pouch and I kind of aim it at you.
And Karen will take out 5 electrum pieces.
Oh, thank you, Flynn. I'm going to take out, let's have a look here. And Ido pulls out 4 pieces of Electrum.
Frankie pulls out 5.
And I was holding all mine. I've got it hidden all around me.
They're hidden on you, right?
Yeah, so so I've got a couple in my sleeves so I can duck them back into the thing if we stop by those magic holdy people.
That's cool. All right, so you're going to continue north?
Yeah.
Kia ora, Penny here. Well, we're into Arc 2, and things are only going to get crazier. I hope you enjoy the Infinite Goose. It was extremely fun to record. You may notice a change in sound during episode 7, as that's when the New Zealand lockdown ended and we started recording in person instead of over the internet. Hopefully it's an improvement, because it's definitely more fun being able to play around a table together. Usual credit goes out to Regan McKinnon for his creation of the show's theme song. You can find Regan at facebook.com/porchrecording. We're going to do something a little different for the break this arc. It's a giveaway. We're teaming up with our friends at Mindflayer Miniatures to give a lucky fan their own custom-painted D&D Adventurer Mini. Come to your weekly game in style with a hand-painted figurine of your character. And for those of you who don't use minis as part of your game, we've got you covered too. You can choose instead to have a digital art piece commissioned from Live Artisan Design. Get your character drawn up the way you want and show your friends what a badass they're questing with. To qualify for one of these delightful D&D prizes, all you have to do is tag our page on Twitter or Facebook and let us know who your favourite character from the show is and why. Everyone who does this over the course of Arc 2 will go in the draw, and we'll announce the winner during the next Smoko episode. Unfortunately, due to delivery restrictions, the mini will only be available in New Zealand, but the art can be delivered digitally anywhere in the world. As usual, you can like our show at facebook.com/Janderson Breffords Podcast or on Twitter at JBPC Podcast. And you can listen to the show on Spotify, Podbean, and hopefully wherever you get your podcasts. On with the show. Your conversation is interrupted by another thunderclap. You kind of carry on north. I want you all to roll investigation checks, please.
That's a 19 for Karen.
Not natural 20 for Frankie.
9 for Flinvar.
And a 10 for Ido.
So you all carry on north, you follow the sound. Frankie and Karen just kind of like lock on to the direction where you're supposed to be. And when the alleyway ceases to be clear, you pull left and you carry on, and you realize that you're in the North District now. Like you're in the fancy pants area of the city where everybody has like nice houses, and there's like, you know, like nice like ornate street torches and stuff. And some of you may have visited here. Does anyone live in the North District? Like any of you?
I live on the outskirts of it, but some of my family does.
Okay, yeah. So you've traveled here before, and you know this is like where the royals and the elite and the rich and the wealthy and the people who like work with the emperor and work for the emperor's court all live. And you turn a corner, and you see a hooded, masked figure running down the middle of the street away from you.
Oh, normally they're more dandy than that. We should follow them.
Oh, my speed is not good because I'm a dwarf, but I'm gonna run after him. I'm gonna try and get him.
Cool. Roll me an athletics check.
Sure thing. Oh, that's a not natural 20.
Very nice. So you take off up the street. Do you yell anything, or do you
Karen is a little bit excited by the thought of being, you know, once again a hero, and she says, "Stop, villain!" as she runs towards the masked figure.
Okay.
Subtle, you know.
Okay, so the masked figure turns, and you do manage to like grab onto the cloak, and the masked figure turns and sees the four of you, and turns and says,
Oh, I see. Puppets of the Emperor. People brainwashed by society.
Actually, I'm a salesperson.
Well, we're all part of society, dear. You can't be brainwashed by something you are. Just come along quietly now, and we'll get all this whole mess sorted out.
Silence, slaves of consumerism.
That's fair.
and there's a loud crashing noise behind you, and even the robed figure is distracted for a moment as you kind of like over the tops of the buildings, you see a burst of flame like shoot into the air, and just from the direction that it is, you're pretty sure that's coming from the center circle. That's like where all of the nonsense is happening. Can everybody please roll me perception checks?
Yes.
Oh, that's a net one. I'm rolling again.
Karen got a not natural 20 again.
Cool. Man, you guys are rolling really well today.
I know. I'm usually a cursed being with dice.
1 for Flinvar.
Cool, nice.
15 for Frankie.
And 10 for Ido.
So as this guy is like doing all these like, you know, he's saying all these anarchist things about like society and consumerism, you notice that he makes some strange gestures with his hand. He like points down and does like a flat, he's like, you know, doing baseball hand signals that like the backstop does. And anyone who got over 16, hands up. Okay, so Karen and Flynn, you guys actually, when you turn around to see the burst of flame, you actually notice that there is another figure with a cloak and a mask, identical, who's like peeking around from like a nearby alley, like, you know, between houses, that's dressed exactly the same. And you kind of put together that this guy is gesturing to this other person. He's like making little signals to this other person. And you turn back to him, and he's holding a silver sphere, and he says,
I will not be shackled by the consumerism of society's slavery.
and then he throws it on the ground, and you are all engulfed in like a thick, powdery smoke.
What was that for?
That's bad for the lungs.
As your vision begins to clear, you lost your hand, like you lost your grip on the cloak. And as you didn't lose your hand, you lost your grip. You lost your like handing on the grab that you had on him. And as your vision begins to clear, you can see the person in the green cloak like running away, like running to the north. So if you want to roll me perception or investigation checks.
Yeah, I'd like to, because I know that there's something. Oh, nat 20. Oh,
So 13 for Karen. As the little figure's running away, Karen would like to yell after him, "We'll catch up with you eventually, dear. I hope you're having fun. You're being very annoying."
What did you get, Flynn?
23.
Yeah, so you're pretty sure that the one that you can see running away is the doppelganger and not the original one.
Yeah.
And you can also see, like, the silt that is beginning to settle. Yeah. There are some footprints, like, leading, like, very light, like, easy to miss footprints, like, leading off towards the side to, like, a door. What did you guys get?
I got a 14.
And Ido got an 18.
Yeah, the door that you guys see that the door is actually a little bit open, like, it's a little bit ajar.
Someone's gonna, like, slap his leg and go, it's a bloody doppelganger again. Let's go this way, I can see footprints.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Too many people in
Flynn
masks.
sounds pretty onto it.
Sometimes.
Let's go.
Let's go, squad. And Karen's going to hold the door open for everybody else.
Aww.
So you guys are heading into the house and you're going to ignore the other figure that is running away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
follow
Could just
Flynn.
be kids in a mask again, you know? Like,
Yeah, classic kids in a mask.
So you head into this house, and you can see. Yeah, it took a second, like while the smoke was up, it took a moment for, like, as you all sort of like coughed through the silt and your vision cleared. There was probably about a minute or so where you couldn't see where this person has like gotten ahead of you. But inside this house, the first floor contains a kitchen and a dining area / sitting room. There are stairs going up and stairs going down. So there are the silt footprints are going up the stairs. Anyone get over 18? They're also going down. So there are silt footprints going up and there are silt footprints going down.
oh,
Hot damn.
Sporty McGee.
Karen is too distracted by the fact that she is in somebody's house and she hasn't been invited in. Actually, I do believe that this is somebody's private property. Maybe we shouldn't be here.
Frankie's just
Sure, let's
already
do it quietly.
in following the footsteps because I thought that's what everyone was doing.
You're heading up the stairs?
Yes.
Ido's just going to grab Karen, pull her in and close the door.
There's two sets of prints. There's like some going up the stairs and there's some going this way, and there was only one man, right? There wasn't another doppelganger?
Well, like, I didn't even see a man, so...
Well, I saw one, and then I saw the other one, who I think was the one that was running away, correct? And then one of them came in here, and did he use that little splitty device on himself? Or I'm just very uncomfortable being in this person's house. I just don't think we should be here.
Okay, well, I'm going to go upstairs and see what I can find.
For the good of the city, Karen.
Okay, I guess I'll stand by the door and make sure nobody else comes in.
Fantastic.
Okay, so Ido and Frankie, as you get to the top of the stairs, there are two doors and another set of stairs going up. Where would you like to go?
Which door do you want, Frankie?
Frankie is trying to be all like quiet, and he's up against the wall, and he's like trying to do also things. I don't know what he's trying to do, but Frankie is going to take the door on the left.
Okay.
I'll just take the other one then, yep.
Okay, cool. So Frankie, I assume that you're operating very quietly.
Yeah, and there's one of those cool like
Okay.
rolls. Oh my god.
So you do a roll. There, because of all the stuff that you carry with you, there is a lot of clatter that follows that roll, like little bits and you like drop a few like screws and nuts and bolts and stuff. But you like lightly open this door and you find yourself in a like fairly affluent office, like there's like a nice desk and like a bookshelf in there and a few glass cases.
For flavor, what Frankie does when he opens his door and he rolls in and he like finger guns like. You know, to me, just in case someone's there.
There don't appear to be any people in the office.
Thank God. Thank God for glasses.
What just happened?
What just happened?
So Steph did like a little finger guns action and like threw a pen and it hit Poppy in the face and bounced off of her glasses. That could have definitely been a health and safety violation.
You're just lucky Karen didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, the amount of forms we would have had to fill
I
out.
wasn't prepared for the physical danger that comes from all of us sitting around a table together. This would never have happened over the internet. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you okay, Steph?
So, just continuing with Frankie for a moment. In the office, it looks like, you know, a really nice office. There's like a big desk. There's like a bunch of books behind the desk and like a nice leather chair. And there are 6 glass cases kind of like on display at the opposite end of the room. What would you like to check out?
I would like to first check out like the desk and the papers. I put on my cool like goggles to check for clues of, I don't know, something.
Okay, so the goggles let you, I think from memory, they give you advantage on investigation checks if you're like within 1 foot of something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so cool. Roll me an investigation check.
That is an 21.
Yeah, so that's fine. So just going through the papers on the desk, they appear to, the desk and the room appear to be a man named Hayamith Ryuden is the person whose office it is. Going through the papers, there are like receipts and orders and like a schedule, and you kind of pick up that this is the desk of the person who was responsible for organizing the Prosperity Festival that you were at earlier today.
Can I tell where the paper came from? Like if it's from our company?
You tell me. Is there any distinguishing markings on Janderson Breffords paper that would distinguish it from other paper? Is there like a sheen or anything?
Yeah, it's just that slight quality. So you know when you have like homemade paper and it's a little bit like bumpy, ours is just less. It's quite smooth. It's very professional. Like it would probably cost a little bit more than the average paper.
It kind of looks like he skimped. Like this is cheap. This is cheap lumpy parchment. But you can tell that this is the person who put together the festival. And you can also see there is a picture frame with a man, a woman, and a child around 10 years old sitting on the desk. And you recognize the man as one of the people. As you guys were leaving the festival, there was like a person with like a clipboard who was like shrieking at the guards.
There was.
And that was that person, the same person, although they do look a lot older now than they do in that photograph.
Okay.
Ido, so you taking the other door?
Yes.
It's a bedroom.
Yay.
It appears to be a teenage boy's bedroom, judging by the rock band posters that are up. There's laundry everywhere, the bed's not made, the curtains aren't open, and it smells. Yeah, it smells. Although it doesn't actually smell any better or any worse than your room.
Yeah. Forget that I too am a teenage boy.
So do you want to have a look around?
Yeah, I'll have a look around. I guess I'll roll perception and or investigation.
Yeah, roll me investigation.
You find one very crusty sock.
Oh, no.
Investigation, that is 18.
Yeah, sweet. So you can, just looking around, like you can see just from some of the like books and stuff, there's like a little, satchel that has the name Lyran on it.
Okay.
And you also, in one of the drawers, find a piece of paper with a bunch of strange writing on it.
Thank you.
Physical props.
And would you like to describe it to the party what you found?
Okay, so I found this lovely little note, and let's just say that Lyran don't know how to write properly. It seems to be a bunch of numbers, but a lot of them are backwards or upside down. Let's see if we can decode this. So it looks like a 2, an upside down 2, a 4, upside down 3, a 1, upside down 1, upside down 3, and a 4, but there's a question mark next to the 4.
So you can pass that around if you want to show the rest of the party. You don't see anything else, there's nothing worth stealing in here.
Yeah.
It's a teenage boy's room, although, he's got some nice posters and stuff. There's like a, what's one of the posters that you see? What's the name of one of the, whatever the equivalent of fantasy emo rock bands are?
Something like a grunge bucket.
Yeah, so there is like a pretty prominent poster of Grunge Bucket just like up there, and you're a teenage boy, you know that Grunge Bucket are posers, they don't mean what they sing, they're all about the money.
Yeah, and I just go, ugh.
Yeah, they charge a lot for tickets compared to a lot of other grunge bands that you've seen. You actually skipped the last concert because it was just a little bit too much. You didn't need to be there. It's mostly where posers go. go. Okay, just checking with you two. Are you guys just hanging out in the kitchen?
Flinvar is really curious about this other set of footprints, but he kind of looks at Karen by the door and then pulls his sword out because he's not going anywhere alone.
Okay, so you're gonna summon your talisman sword?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you're going down the stairs?
Yes, I will very cautiously follow those. So I'm also going to sneak and kind of try and peer like ahead of me to see what's.
Okay.
And I'm going to gesture to Karen to let her know that I'm going AWOL.
Okay, so you go down the stairs. You find yourself in a dimly lit, just by like one window that's kind of like up the top corner, that's at street level, a wine cellar. That's down there, and it's actually fairly full. Like it looks pretty well stocked. There are mostly wine like in shelves along the side, but there is one barrel that is sitting sort of like in the far corner, and it's the only barrel.
Karen, being left alone in the kind of main area, looks very, very nervous, picks at her nails a little bit and then remembers that she shouldn't do that, peers out through the little window in the door, make sure there's nobody coming along the street, and then hurries down the stairs after Flinvar because she does not want to be left alone.
Okay. Don't want to be caught by yourself in the stranger's house.
Yes!
So yeah, you follow. You actually give Flynn a little fright because Flynn's like really, really quietly entering this wine cellar, and you just barrel down the stairs and like bump into him.
Absolutely.
Flynn turns around and like points his sword at you, and he's like, "Oh, it's just Karen."
Oh, sorry, darling.
But also there are no people in this room either.
Okay, that's sweet.
There are like you saw the silk footprints, like at least one or two at the top of the stairs leading down, and I think they were pretty faded by that point, but it's definitely a footprint. But they led down to this room, which there are no other exits and no people down there.
Can I do an investigation check for any more scuff marks and?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's terrible. A 9.
There are no other footprints in the room. The floor is a little damp, so you feel like if there were any more silt on the person's shoes, that the dampness would have probably cleared it off.
Okay.
So you don't find anything. Back to Frankie. What else are you doing? Are you leaving the room?
Frankie wants to have a look at the cases, and he wants to call in Ido. Like, hey Ido, come do crime in this room.
Why did we leave those two together?
Ido sneaks into the room like, what the hell? Frankie.
And she points out, look, crime things. And he's looking at the whatever's in the cases here.
Okay, so there are 6 glass cases with little plaques on them. And they appear to be a collection of magical items. And you can kind of tell, because you're an inventor, there are a few like little bits and pieces around like where the glass meets the the stand that you can tell that they look like there are alarm mechanisms attached to these cases. But the labels on the 6 cases are the rabbit's foot of luck, the crystal of healing, the oil of the viper, the dust of sneezing, the conch of replication, and the ring of invisibility. And you actually notice that the conch of replication does not appear to be closed properly. It looks like it's just, they're all sealed, and there's like a little gap, or it's not quite sealed on the back of the conch of replication where the door is. And as you guys get real close, like having a look at these items, the conch of replication lets out this massive thunderclap blast, and you guys get a huge fright and like fall backwards, and you take a moment to catch your breath.
Would we have heard that downstairs?
Yeah, you would have heard the thunder coming from upstairs.
Karen jumps and holds on to Flimvar's arm for just a moment. She goes, "Oh, okay, everything's fine."
Well, there's no screams, so.
Do you think we should go up and... Okay.
When the sound comes out, Ido jumps back and grabs onto Frankie. And then it's like, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to do that.
And that is the official art of just everyone jumping and like hugging each other. Official art of the chapter.
What is this, Scooby-Doo?
Two lanky boys.
I'm assuming I can see that the case isn't quite closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ido is going to reach behind that case and pull out the conch. Attempt to.
So it's like you guys know what a conch is, right? It's like a shell. So it's like a spiral-shaped shell with a few spikes on it. There is a button on it that is like in the very top piece. So there's like a hole at the bottom where like if you were a hermit crab, you would go in. And there's a button at the top, like the top piece would push in, and you notice that it's stuck. like a PlayStation button that's got like some Mountain Dew in it or something, and it's like gotten stuck in.
You've been playing Tekken really hard.
Not the gamer juice.
It appears to be. It appears to have been jammed. And that's why it's making that noise. Are you going to keep it or are you going to put it back?
I'm going to try and unstick the button.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand check.
That is 18.
It's pretty stuck.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not taking this. It'll be so annoying.
Yeah.
Frankie would like to have a look at that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can fix this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to imagine Frankie's way of fixing it is just like smashing it.
Sounds about right.
No. That sleight of hand you said?
Yeah.
That's a 7.
Yeah. You guys have like a little jam. Even with your Tinkerer's tools, it appears pretty stuck. And judging by like the fact that you were following this noise, it's the same noise. It feels like it's probably going to go off every 5 minutes or so. Just judging by how often you heard the noise before and that you were following it. Whoever had it couldn't unstick it either, and they were making this noise that you guys were following unintentionally.
So they just put it back?
Apparently.
Is there a window in the office?
Yeah, there's a window leading down to the street.
Okay, I would like to grab the conch and throw it out because it's really loud. And I don't want people to come to the house.
Yeah, you open the window and you yeet the conch replication out into the street. You've probably got about another like 4.5 minutes or so before it's going to go off again. But like it was really loud when it was right in your face, and it really sucked. Are you going to do anything else while you're in here?
I'm going to have a closer look at all the other things. Hey Frankie, can you can we reach into these safely? Can you just have a look?
Crime isn't my forte, but I'll have a look at these. It looks like there's some wires and some...
It's funny because crime isn't my forte either.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
And yet here you both are, doing a crime.
Frankie didn't want to point that out, but...
Did you already roll investigation on these cases?
Not on the cases, no, but on the desks.
Roll me another one. You get advantage. You're like really up close.
Got my goggles on and my... Okay, that is a 24.
Yeah. So you have a really good look. There's like a locking mechanism on the back, and it does feel like if you were really, really careful, like if you tried to just break it open, an alarm would go off. Funnily enough, probably not as bad as the alarms that like not as loud or as bad as the actual conch itself, but like there would be some kind of like alert system if it was to go off. But if you're really careful, you probably could open these up. Or disarm the alarms if you wanted to.
We could open these up if we wanted to.
Sweet, do it, Frankie.
Okay. Frankie will do the crime. Which one should we try first?
I think the foot.
The foot. Lucky rabbit's... The foot of...
It's rabbit's foot of luck.
Rabbit's foot of luck.
The lucky foot of rabbit.
Lucky foot of rabbit. Rabbit's foot of luck. Okay, I'm going to try and...
Slip on in.
Yeah.
Do you have thieves' tools?
I believe I do.
I know you have
Yes, I do.
tinkerer's tools.
Yes, thieves' tools, smith's tools, tinker's tools, alchemist tools.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna bust out your thieves' tools and you're gonna attempt to open up the case containing the rabbit's foot of luck.
Yeah.
As a side note, you're pretty sure that these items are either fake or really low quality. Like you. Okay. So also like. There below the titles there are little registration like numbers and stuff, and you've kind of heard of this before that like rich people kind of like to like it's like a symbol of wealth and power where people like have these like crazy magic items and like we'll put them like a magic sword up on the mantle and like you wouldn't use it but like it's there to be like, oh, look at this fancy magic item I have, and this guy's got like these really nice cases with what you're pretty sure are dud items in them.
I'm pretty sure these cases are worth more than the items inside. Well.
Yeah. So okay, roll me a sleight of hand check. Oh, actually, I think Thieves' Tools has its own check. Yeah. So roll me a check using your Thieves' Tools proficiency.
That is a 13.
You kind of get in there, you reach around, you get underneath, and you get to a point where I'll give you the opportunity to change your mind. You feel like if you go any further, like there is a little wire that you're pushing on, and if you push any further, it's probably gonna set off the alarm. Would you like to keep going, or would you wanna give up?
I think.
Do you?
Rude. I think at this point, I'm already in. I'm just gonna like grab it and just like eat out. Like,
okay. So
I'm already in.
An alarm starts to go off. It's not like a Wii U. It's more like a like the old school like primary school. It's like a bell. It's like that type one. and it starts to go off in the office, and you're not too worried because a lot of the guards are dealing with the Goose problem right now. And I imagine like the alarm's already going off. You could probably smash and grab the rest of the items.
Might as well just like, uh-oh.
Can we hear what's going on?
Yeah, you guys can hear the alarm going off, yeah.
By the time you come into the room, all of the cases are smashed. Yeah.
Go.
We've just made a mess of it.
Do you guys head up now?
We should probably go and see what they're doing.
Frankie panics and is just smashing the glass for the second round.
So you guys bust into the room and you can see these guys standing next to like 6 broken glass cases and just like stuffing stuff into their pockets.
What?
We fell.
Okay.
Good one, Frankie.
There were 5 items. Who took what? Because you're going to have to add them to your inventory.
Rabbit's foot of luck.
I am taking the Ring of Invisibility.
Okay. Do you put it on or do you just put it in your pocket?
I'll slip in my pocket for now.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I'm not worrying too much.
Yeah. There's also the Crystal of Healing, Oil of Viper, and Dust of Sneezing.
I will grab the Dust of Sneezing.
Yeah.
And have a little sneeze. Achoo. And snake oil. I mean, oil of the Viper.
And Frankie, do you take the Crystal of Healing?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
However, Karen is going to say, no. You have to put those back.
This is for science. We are going to report this to the police because I'm pretty sure these are illegal.
They've got registration numbers.
Fight capitalism!
Fight capitalism.
What?
Okay, we need to get out of here, or at least go downstairs and finish looking, because this is loud, and someone's gonna come find out why their house is blaring, right?
Like there's huge geese, like everywhere. You think they're gonna see some kids in a house and go, oh. Okay, yeah, what was downstairs?
We don't know. So there's footprints that lead to nowhere. So there's somewhere down there that obviously they left because they didn't go past us, right?
Yeah, let me investigate these footprints here.
Well,
Any,
before-
justice's goggles.
Before you do anything, I'm going to have to ask, and she blocks the doorway, I'm going to have to ask that you return the items that you got out of those cases, Frankie. Otherwise, I will have to report you to your superior.
I walk through the door and just step over Karen's arm.
I will after intense scientific investigation, because these could be dangerous to the public, and it would be irresponsible of us to just leave these lying around.
I couldn't agree more, Frankie.
That's right. So let's
them
also
back.
just awkwardly tries to also step over.
Gangly Frankie, just like, whoa.
Karen is going to grab both of your shirts because she's not giving up until everything goes back.
Okay, here we go. You guys are going to make strength checks against Karen. Karen, you're going to roll disadvantage because you're doing 2 at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, that's the worst.
Just a strength contest. Are you not doing anything, Flynn?
No, I'm just watching amused because this is. My ears
Damn
are starting
it.
to hurt because of the dumb alarm, but.
It's an 8.
What did you guys get?
Also an 8.
I got a natural 20, so.
Okay. So Ido just like, you grab on the back of the shirt and Ido just drags you along. you actually do manage to like really stop Frankie because he's a gangly boy. But Ido's just like, I'm not stopping at this, and just like walks, carries on, you're dragging you because you're wearing like smooth-footed heels, you've got no grip on the ground.
Her metal shoes betray her.
Metal shoes.
Yeah,
It's like,
you know, the dwarven.
God, that's so good. The sound it would make.
So you guys are having a little wrestling match in a house, like with an alarm going off.
Yeah.
What now?
Karen's put them back. Put them back. They're not ours.
Would Karen have seen what the crystal looks like?
It was the last thing that you guys said, so I imagine you would have seen it. It looks like the crystals from Crash Bandicoot, you know, like the tall purple type ones. So you probably would have seen it. It's like a small version that was probably, it's probably only like 2 inches long.
You'd just be like, I will put the crystal back, but it's really just a stone that I found.
Okay, so you do put you put the crystal back in the case or just throw it on the ground?
Just a stone.
Just the stone, just like, here it is, and put it, the stone that I had in my pocket.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Just like, I've put it back into the case, now let it go.
Well done, Frankie.
Deception, insight.
Frankie's not good at deception.
Come on, Frankie.
Karen's pretty good at insight. No, she's not.
That is a 17.
That's 7. So
Yeah, you're pretty satisfied. Like Frankie put back one thing, and you're gonna be like, okay, I'm counting that as a win. But you're gonna do something about these rough boys that you have in your
Rough boys.
these naughty rough boys.
Frankie just wants to do it for science, not for crime.
Unfortunately, he did do it for crime, though.
What's crime?
Just think, Karen, it's an opportunity for training further down the track about morals.
Yes, that's true, and they will be reported to their superiors.
Snitches get stitches.
Karen!
What's your alignment? Are you lawful good?
Yes.
Yeah.
so you guys are heading downstairs, upstairs. Where are you going to from here?
Downstairs, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the cellar, you have already rolled an investigation check. Which one of you did it already?
I did not.
Okay, so the people who haven't yet rolled one, roll the investigation checks for the cellar. You don't get advantage because you're not like looking at something real close up. You're investigating a room.
Karen got a 16.
Nice.
14 for Frankie.
And 11 for Ido.
Okay, yeah. So you two, as you're looking around, you notice that the barrel is actually empty. And it's attached to the floor, and as you try and lift it, it tilts, and then actually the bottom of it is a trap door that leads down there's like a circular hole big enough for all of you, and there is a ladder that leads down. It was not built into the building. It is something, it looks like someone has like pickaxed their floor into the ground, and it just leads down into like a black hole of nothing. And there actually also is a unpleasant smell wafting up through the hole.
See, told you.
Okay, who's scared?
I mean, it smells pretty gross, but...
I'm scared of the consequences of you two keeping those items.
What items?
Well, as far as you know, I've put the item back.
You put one back. There was 5 cases.
There was 6 cases.
There were 6 cases.
I might have only had just the one item. You don't know. We will never know.
Frankie, you're terrible at lying.
Ida
Yes, yes, he is.
There were 5 cases. There were 6 cases.
He also really likes crime. But
Frankie,
he did not
I swear to God.
do crime while I was there.
And if
told
I
him
find
no.
out that you've taken anything that doesn't belong to you, I'll be telling your parents.
Yep, okay, yep. That sounds fine with me.
That sounds fair and reasonable, but lucky he didn't take anything, even though he does kind of like
Insight.
crime, but I don't think he did.
Inside.
I just checked my pockets to make sure they're zipped up.
That's an 8.
That's a 6 on deception.
Karen's got it bad, but Frankie's got it worse.
You're pretty sure that you're being lied to, but with all the other shit going on right now, the multiplying geese and the alarms going off, and then the conch goes off outside again. There's a lot going on, and you kind of feel like this is probably well, I mean, you can decide your own priorities, but this guy has gotten ahead of you. Like the time you've taken to investigate this house, you know, it was a couple of minutes. So this guy's probably gotten a little ahead of you.
I'm gonna go over to Karen and just let her know. I'm like, Karen, I did take some things, I'll be honest. However, they're gonna be useful.
For what?
For catching this criminal.
Frank's like, for crime.
That's true. And Flynn's going to start going down the ladder.
Okay, you're gonna start climbing down?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, I suppose we'll just have to revisit this later. We will have a meeting about it, and if need be, I will just rope in your parents, your relatives, and your supervisors, because I'm not pleased with your behaviour today.
Just you wait, Karen.
She's gonna shoot Ida for a really weird look and climb down the stairs.
Sorry, that was meant to be a nice thing.
And the group fractures.
So who's currently climbing down the ladder? You are.
I went first.
Karen went second.
Okay. And then out of you two, who goes third? Who goes last?
I'll go last.
Frankie goes third.
Okay. Do you make sure to close the door past you, or do you leave it open?
I close it because I've got dark vision, so I don't give it. I don't care.
Who does have dark vision?
Me.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not, but I can make things light.
Yeah, you've got the ability to put light on stuff, don't you?
I have a
Okay.
torch in my bag.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are climbing down the ladder, and the smell is getting worse.
Oh.
And you're climbing down, and it's dark, and the only things that you can hear are like each other on the rungs, and the smell is getting worse and worse and worse. And Flynn, You hit the bottom of the ladder and you are in a dimly lit, like dripping, disgusting, like a little intersection in the sewers underneath the city. And you're almost choking, and everyone else sort of like hits the bottom of the ladder. I want everybody to roll Constitution saving throws, please.
Karen got a 21.
Oh, I got a 21.
24.
Oh, okay, well, I got an 18. Well, that was pretty good.
Ida, you totally blow chunks.
All right, I believe they are gone now. It is I, the freedom fighter that hates capitalism. You should definitely shop local and don't give anything to corporations because then you'll be a slave. Thank you for listening to the show.